So student, today we are going to understand Newton's different law. Newton's law. So we will understand the first Newton's law. So Newton's first law is also called as Newton's first law. Newton's first law is also called as law of inertia. Inertia. So what is inertia? That means what is the first law of Newton. We have to understand diagrammatically first. Suppose this is the surface and here one object is present and which is in stationary condition. Stationary means this object is not going to change its position. Okay. So if we will apply the force, then this object will change the place, otherwise it will remain at the rest. So the Newton's statement says that if an object is in stationary position, it will remain at rest. It will remain at rest. And another part, if suppose like Earth rotates around the Sun in an elliptical orbit continuously, or any object moves along with a straight line path, so if an object moves or in motion, it will remain at motion only until and unless any external force is applied on them. So if we will combine, this is the first condition and this is second condition. What is first condition? If an object is in stationary state, then it will remain at rest until any external force is applied on it. That means ये ऑब्जेक्ट रेस्ट में तब तक रेस्ट में ही रहेगा जब तक कोई एक्सटर्नल फोर्स हम इस पर अप्लाई नहीं करेंगे तब तक. Likewise, if object is in motion, so it will remains at motion until and unless any external force is applied on it. That means अगर कोई ऑब्जेक्ट मोशन कंडीशन में है तो मोशन में कब तक रहेगा? जब तक उस पर कोई एक्सटर्नल फोर्स अप्लाई नहीं होगा तब तक. सो अब हम क्या करेंगे, इन दोनों कंडीशंस को ज्वाइन करेंगे. देन दैट विल बी आवर फर्स्ट इक्वेशन ऑफ फर्स्ट लॉ ऑफ मोशन ऑफ बाय न्यूटन. द स्टेटमेंट सेज एन ऑब्जेक्ट कंटिन्यू टू रिमेन एट रेस्ट or in state of uniform motion along a straight line path. So we are not talking about the circular or elliptical path, we are talking about the straight line, that means linear path. Then until and unless any external force is applied on them, means अगर कोई ऑब्जेक्ट रेस्ट में है तो रेस्ट में ही रहेगा, या फिर अगर मोशन में है अलॉन्ग विथ स्ट्रेट लाइन तो मोशन में ही रहेगा. कब तक? जब तक उसके ऊपर कोई एक्सटर्नल फोर्स अप्लाई नहीं होगा तब तक. ओके, सो वी हैव टू राइट द स्टेटमेंट. सो एन ऑब्जेक्ट विल रिमेन एट रेस्ट or in state of uniform motion along with straight line path. Unless any external force is applied on them. Now we have to understand this equation by example. Suppose this is the seat and a person is sitting on the seat and this seat belongs to the bus. This is the bus. So this is the bus. When bus at the bus stop, at there the bus will be at stationary condition. The bus will be at stationary condition. And when bus starts moving, then the seat will also move along with the bus, and this portion of the person is in contact with the seat. That means along with seat, this portion of the person will also will be in motion, but this part of the body of the person will move backward direction. Why backward direction? Because this body was in rest position and it also wants to be in rest. That's why the body of the person will move on backward side. But when the bus stops at any station, then along with the bus, seat is also remains at the rest or moves to the rest position. Along with the seat, this portion of the person will also remains at the rest, but this portion will be remains in motion. That's why this portion of the person will move in forward direction. So this is nothing but the inertia. That means अगर कोई ऑब्जेक्ट मूव कर रहा है तो मूव की कंडीशन में ही रहना चाहेगा, या फिर अगर रेस्ट में है तो रेस्ट में ही रहना चाहेगा. कब तक? जब तक उस पर कोई एक्सटर्नल फोर्स अप्लाई नहीं होगा तब तक. सो दिस इज द फर्स्ट लॉ ऑफ न्यूटन. दिस इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज इनर्शिया. सो वी विल अंडरस्टैंड द इनर्शिया नाउ. So inertia is the inability of an object to change its state of motion or in rest on its own. That means ये वो प्रॉपर्टी है हमारे ऑब्जेक्ट की जिसमें ऑब्जेक्ट मूव कंडीशन में है तो मूव ही रहेगा, या फिर अगर रेस्ट कंडीशन में है तो रेस्ट ही कंडीशन में रहेगा जब तक उस पर कोई एक्सटर्नल फोर्स अप्लाई नहीं होगा तब तक. So this is all about inertia. So what is inertia? Inertia is the inability of an object to change its state. State means may be in motion or in rest on its own is called as inertia. So ये इनेबिलिटी है ऑब्जेक्ट की कि वो अपनी जो स्टेट है, स्टेट यानी वो रेस्ट में भी हो सकता है या मोशन में भी हो सकता है, उसको वो चेंज करने में फेल हो जाता है, चेंज नहीं कर सकता. कब तक? जब तक उस पर कोई एक्सटर्नल फोर्स अप्लाई नहीं होगा तब तक. अगर कोई ऑब्जेक्ट रेस्ट में है तो रेस्ट में रहेगा, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि उस पर कोई फोर्स अप्लाई नहीं हो रहा है, उस पर भी फोर्स अप्लाई हो रहा है. बट जो फोर्स अप्लाई हो रहे हैं वो, सपोज ये ऑब्जेक्ट है, इसके ऊपर एक फोर्स अप्लाई हो रहा है F, तो सेम फोर्स अप्लाई होगा ऑन अपोजिट साइड विथ सेम मैग्नीट्यूड. सो डायरेक्शन डिफरेंट होने के कारण क्या हो जाएगा, ये फोर्स एक दूसरे को कैंसिल कर देंगे और टोटल जो वर्किंग जो फोर्स होगा वो कैसा होगा? ज़ीरो. दैट मीन्स ऑल द फोर्स दे कैंसल्स ईच अदर. ओके, सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट द फर्स्ट लॉ ऑफ न्यूटन ऑफ मोशन. Now before going to understand the second law, we have to understand the balanced and unbalanced force. Suppose, so we have to understand first balanced and unbalanced force. So we have understood first what is force. We know force. What is force? Force is What is force? It is the product of mass and acceleration. So we have to understand what is balanced and unbalanced force. So suppose we have an object. This is an object, and we are applying force on this side and from this side also. Suppose this is the person and this is another person applying force on object from opposite direction. Suppose this is a person which is applying force is called as acting force. Acting force or driving force. Driving force. But another person which is applying force is called as opposing force. Opposing force. एक पर्सन जो फोर्स लगा रहा है इस ऑब्जेक्ट को मूव करने के लिए, हम उसको बोलते हैं ड्राइविंग फोर्स और एक्टिंग फोर्स, और दूसरा पर्सन जो उसके मोशन को, इसके फोर्स को कैंसिल कर रहा है, मोशन नहीं होने देना चाहता है ना, उस फोर्स को हम बोलेंगे अपोजिंग फोर्स. इफ द मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ ड्राइविंग फोर्स and opposing force is same, means suppose the first person applying 9 Newton of force and another person is also applying 9 Newton of force, that means they applies equal force but the direction of force is opposite. That means this force and this force will cancel each other. That means there is no motion will cause on that object. अगर किसी ऑब्जेक्ट पर अपोजिट साइड से इक्वल फोर्स अगर अप्लाई हो रहा है तो उसमें मोशन नहीं होगा, बिकॉज बोथ द फोर्स दैट इज ड्राइविंग फोर्स एंड अपोजिंग फोर्स दे कैंसल्स ईच अदर. इस सेम then they cancel each other. They cancels each other and causes no motion. No motion is caused when equal and opposite force is applied. That force is called as balanced force. That force is called as balanced force. Balanced force. So what will be the definition of balanced force? If the magnitude of driving force and opposing force is same, then this force is called as balanced force. And balanced force, because they cancels each other, hence they cancels each other, hence the resultant force will be 0. That means there is no cause of motion by applying balanced force. Okay, now we have to understand unbalanced force. Let this is the object and the condition will be the same. Change now. This is the surface and it is the object, and from this side Khali, you know the great Khali who is applying force about suppose 100 Newton, and you are applying force from this side, so you are the normal person. You are not the Khali. That means the force applied by Khali, will be greater than force applied by normal person. Is it? That means the magnitude of force of Khali is greater than magnitude of force of normal person. That means this force is not equal. That means we can say unbalanced force is applied. Unbalanced force is applied on this object. So the magnitude of force of Khali is greater. That means the object will move from this side to this side. That means at the direction of force whose magnitude is higher. So we can define unbalanced force. Unbalanced force. What will be unbalanced force now? If magnitude of driving force and opposing force is not same, then this is called as unbalanced force. And unbalanced force causes motion in the direction of force whose magnitude is higher. है ना, किसी ऑब्जेक्ट पर जब हम फोर्स लगाएंगे तो इसका अनबैलेंस फोर्स लगाएंगे तो इस ऑब्जेक्ट का मोशन किस डायरेक्शन में होगा? उस फोर्स के डायरेक्शन में जिसका मैग्नीट्यूड ग्रेटर होगा. दैट मीन्स हम फोर्स लगा रहे हैं इस डायरेक्शन में, सो मोशन भी होगा इसी डायरेक्शन में. ओके, सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट बैलेंस फोर्स एंड अनबैलेंस फोर्स. आई होप आपको बैलेंस फोर्स, अनबैलेंस फोर्स और न्यूटन का फर्स्ट लॉ समझ में आ गया होगा. इफ़ यू वांट टू राइट, यू कैन राइट फ्रॉम हियर ओनली.